Today in crypto, Bitcoin is currently stuck in a state of price limbo. Meanwhile, altcoins have been going wild recently. Ethereum is making some big on-chain metric moves. The HODL wave, it is showing that we are setting up for the next major market cycle. Bitcoin whales, they have been out there buying hard into the dips, and one insane whale in particular has a special message for Faketoshi. The cryptolark, this is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out here in the wild, wild land of crypto. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts first to see what is happening in the markets. Bitcoin right now, it is just chilling under $9,000. We still have not had enough significant bearish momentum to push us down to even test that 200-day moving average, which of course is the key line in the sand right now for Bitcoin. If we break under that, the bears are coming back out. Until then, the bulls are still in charge of the market. On the shorter time frames, Bitcoin is forming up a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern with around a 70% chance of breaking to the upside, bringing in a bit of short-term price relief if it does play out in that direction, possibly setting us up for another run to try and test $10,000. But Bitcoin, it's been so boring over the last few weeks, just bouncing around in this range between $8,500 and $10,000. You're boring, Bitcoin. You're boring. The real excitement recently has been in the altcoin market. I mean, holy smoking duck, dudes. Wow. Coins like Omise Go have rallied super hard, setting 250% gains versus Bitcoin. Zilliqa has blasted off 170% gains versus Bitcoin. Theta had a 240% run up against Bitcoin and Theta Fuel, an astonishing 1000% gain in the last few days. What? It's crazy. Altcoins have without a doubt been where the action is over the last few weeks. But just a few words of caution for everyone. Don't go out chasing some of these pumps. When you see something pumping by hundreds of percent, take a lot of caution, please. And remember, book in your profits. If you just made a 10x or a 3x or something like that on one of these moves, do not get too greedy. At least take some percentage out to pay yourself. Remember, you have not made anything on this investment or on this trade if you simply watch your crypto pump by 10x and then crash by 90%. You see Theta Fuel is already down by 50%, so keep it in mind, guys. Also, if you're curious about trading but don't know how to get started, then check out my course, Crypto Trading Explained. It's going to walk you through all of the basics that you need to know to get started trading cryptocurrency. It's going to teach you not just the key indicators, but also things like how to manage your risk, set great stop losses, and of course to spot breakouts. There's a link down below where you can learn more. By the way, I also have a review coming up on Theta very soon, as well as Zilliqa, so stay tuned for those in the coming days. Next, I want to share this chart with you. Realized cap HODL waves. Now, this indicator can help us understand Bitcoin's market cycles, helping us to gauge when a market is topping out or when a market is starting to heat up for a bull run. I know that the underwhelming price action for Bitcoin in the last few weeks has been a bit disappointing for some people. I understand. I get it. But we are indeed entering into the new bull period of a new super cycle for Bitcoin. This is the bullish accumulation phase of the market. You see, every major bull market for Bitcoin, it was preceded by a setup wave, which you can see marked on the chart here, followed by an accumulation phase, which is where we are right now, which is then followed by a huge, insane market run. Anyone saying that this is not going to happen is not paying attention. There are so many indicators pointing towards an trending market overall, even if we are short-term seeing a bit of price pain. And no, again, I'm not talking about instant moon Lambo time here, guys. So many people seem to get this confused. When we have bullish indicators like this, it means that the market is moving into a new major trend. This takes time to set up. This takes time to get it off of the launch pad. Now is the time to be accumulating your crypto, stacking sats and chilling, or stacking ETH and chilling, whatever you might be doing. Your patience will be rewarded. If you are not patient, then you will be eaten alive by the ever-hungry Bitcoin whales, which we can see evidenced by the recent sell-off. You see, while miners started to offload their inventory, which is to be expected, retail investors, they also started to panic and to sell their Bitcoin. And what happened at the same time? We had large accounts out there accumulating Bitcoin. Since Bitcoin's dropped below $9,500 on May 20th, addresses holding 100 or more Bitcoin have added another 12,000 Bitcoin to their bags. That's crazy, man. More than $100 million worth of Bitcoin. The game is this: get and hold as much Bitcoin as you can. Large accounts, they understand this very, very well, and they play the game very well. Understand the rules of this game, and then act accordingly. Do not be whale food. Remember, you are not plankton. Be like the remora. Be friends with the whale, learn from the whale, understand the whale, follow the movements of the whale. This way, even if you are not a whale, you are not going to be whale food. A big thank you to BlockFi for sponsoring today's episode. BlockFi is my favorite place to lend out my crypto. I personally have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDC all sitting in my BlockFi interest account. BlockFi is really cool because it doesn't require you to stake any tokens or anything like that. There's no lockup periods, and it has very generous interest rate accounts. 6% for Bitcoin, 4.5% for Ethereum, and 8.6% for dollar stablecoins like USDC and Paxos. FlexiPay lets you deposit dollars and also get paid interest either in dollars or in Bitcoin should you prefer. And then, of course, you can get that Bitcoin paid out, your interest, while you're waiting to buy the dip with your cash. And the in-app exchange means that you can quickly grab any dips when they do happen. Also, BlockFi offers loans against your crypto assets, allowing you to get cash in a flash using your crypto as collateral without having to sell your crypto. There is a link down below where you can learn more and find out how to start earning a passive income on your cryptocurrencies today. Okay, let's talk about Ethereum here for a little bit. There is now 4 times as much Bitcoin locked up on Ethereum than on the entire Lightning Network. And there is twice the amount of Bitcoin locked up on Ethereum than the entire Blockstream Liquid network, meaning there is more Bitcoin on Ethereum than Liquid and the Lightning Network combined. Now, this is amazing to see for many reasons. First, of course, it's very stunning to see how the Lightning Network continues to really struggle to take off in terms of adoption. But second, this is just the start for Bitcoin being made useful on Ethereum for decentralized finance and lending and borrowing, and really to become a Bitcoin standard for stablecoins on Ethereum. Bitcoin adoption is growing on Ethereum because it can actually be used in a useful way on Ethereum. Liquid, currently it's a walled garden for exchanges, run by exchanges, overseen by Blockstream, and the Lightning Network, of course, continues to struggle with really any kind of adoption at this time. I think Lightning Network will do well in the future, but we just haven't seen that yet. But while we wait for Lightning or something else to come along and give solutions for Bitcoin, have access to all these things, right now Ethereum's already doing that. It's making Bitcoin useful on Ethereum today and is growing exponentially. In other Ethereum news, there are now more than 40 million Ethereum addresses with non-zero balances. This number, by the way, has seen an increase of an insane 350% since the all-time high of Ethereum back in 2018. By the way, this is 11 million more addresses than Bitcoin has with a non-zero balance. And it's also important to note that Ethereum, it has outpaced Bitcoin in terms of growth since Ethereum is only half as old as Bitcoin and is already surpassing Bitcoin in key metrics like the number of addresses as well as value transferred on chain. Another super interesting bit of data for you is this chart here. You can see Ethereum development, gas used on the Ethereum network, mean dollar invested age, and miner balance for Ethereum. All of these things are up big time. The only thing not up big time in relation to all of this is the price of Ether, meaning that we have a lot of indicators that are leading the price right now, and that sooner or later we're actually going to see the price catching up to these indicators in a very, very big way. In other Ethereum news, decentralized exchange volume continues to grow. So for reference, back in January 2019, decentralized exchange volumes are only 0.12% of all centralized exchange volumes combined. Now that figure has grown up to 0.66%, a growth of over 450% in a year, which is amazing. Now, most of this action right now, it is happening on Ethereum. Players like Kyber and Uniswap and DYDX, they are currently capturing the lion's share of the DEX market. So it is certainly great to see all of this volume starting to really pick up on decentralized exchanges. They're such an important part of the cryptocurrency economy, and I'm glad to see them finally starting to get that adoption. Next up, we have some fabulous news out of India. A local news outlet was reporting that the RBI, or the Reserve Bank of India, has officially promised to make no hindrances for running crypto-related businesses in the country. Yes! Yet another bank has been forced to bend the knee to Bitcoin and really just admit that resistance is futile. So just go for it. Just go for it, guys. This is such good news that the Central Bank of India is getting out of the way and just letting Indians have unhindered access to cryptocurrencies. I'm so excited about this. India is such a critically important and growing market for crypto. Now it can just really start to focus on innovation and flourishing and just building that community up. And just in case you needed a little bit of extra motivation for why you need to hold Bitcoin, check out this tweet here from my mate Alex over at Nuggets News. Central banks, they're buying $2.4 billion an hour in financial assets. Corporate bonds are being bought up. Junk bonds are being bought up. Mortgage debt is being bought up. It's crazy. In total, $4 trillion has been used globally by central banks to basically hoover up all of the scraps on the floor in the stock exchange, all the filth that no one else wants. This has led to a completely irrational surge of $15 trillion in the global equity markets. This honestly should make you sick. The markets are being given an unlimited supply of free money. No good will come of this. Printing more money does not solve the problems that money printing causes. It makes them worse. It's a rigged game. It's crazy. This is a big reason why I buy and hold Bitcoin, because when I see this kind of nonsense going on, I just think I don't want to be a part of it. And finally, the big story for today. We have had yet another twist in the Faketoshi legal drama. Apparently, 145 of the addresses that Craig Wright claimed to own in his court filing have been activated, but not by Craig Wright. These addresses, by the way, they have not been active since 2009, so he must have thought, well, no one's using these, they're surely lost, no one can prove that they own them except me, I'll just pretend to. These addresses, they've been dormant for 11 years, and they activated to do one simple thing, to broadcast a message and to eternalize it on the Bitcoin blockchain. The message is this: Craig Stephen Wright is a liar and a fraud. He doesn't have the keys used to sign this message. The Lightning Network is a significant achievement. However, we need to continue work on improving on-chain capacity. Unfortunately, the solution is not to just change a constant in the code or to allow powerful participants to force out others. We are all Satoshi. Amazing. Amazing. This is so great on so many levels. Honestly, how anyone continues to believe the lie that Craig Wright is Satoshi, or just really buy into the entire Bitcoin Satoshi vision dumpster fire, is beyond my understanding. Anyway, well, this is an amusing turn of events for the Craig Wright drama. It does actually raise a few interesting points. Who the heck has been out there holding Bitcoin since 2009 and just sitting on it? It's crazy. Now, I don't think it's Satoshi. According to Jameson Lopp, these addresses do not fit with the addresses that we assume to be owned by Satoshi. It's possible that they could be, but it's quite unlikely. Just an early Bitcoin miner. Regardless of who it is, can I just say, look at those strong, strong hands. This person has been holding since 2009. They watched Bitcoin soar to $20,000 and they did not cash out. That is some crazy long-term belief. All you guys were getting shaken out by a 5% move in Bitcoin, check yourselves at the door. This guy has seen Bitcoin crash super hard multiple times. It's just been there riding the waves of the crazy markets. This also really opens up the assumption that we have about the 4 million lost Bitcoin. Yes, some of that 4 million is going to be lost for certain, but perhaps nowhere near as much as we assume to be lost. Just because an address hasn't been touched in 11 years, apparently, does not mean that it is lost Bitcoin. This proves that to be false. Anyway, very interesting stuff. Your question for today: what is your best altcoin trade or investment that you have made this year? And did you take any profits on your gains, or are you still riding the wave? Would love to hear about that down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Your daily reminder, you are freaking awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen to this dude right here talk about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.